strength training. Some cyclists are doing it, some aren't. What role does strength training play in preparing for rugged terrain of gravel racing? Is it crucial to incorporate some form of weightlifting for events like the Traka or Unbound, or like even more so than if you're just focusing on road racing or crit racing?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you start getting into off-road racing, you start looking at resiliency more than just simple production of power. So I'm a big fan of doing strength training year round with the correct application. But with off-road racing, gravel as well, of course, it can be really beneficial to, make sure that your shoulders and back and neck aren't absolutely falling apart. Hands, wrists aren't falling apart when you're 8 hours into your race. You're probably going to feel your back at the end of Unbound, but that doesn't mean you can't help that resiliency with strength training. So, a lot of traditional or old school weight training work for cycling or endurance sport is going to be more based off of, again, that power adaptation and that power production. So a lot more lower body work. I think a lot of benefit that can be done towards off-road and adding to that resiliency is actually going to be arms, back work, shoulders, neck. I have some athletes that do the F1 neck style training. Like that stuff works, and it really adds the ability to, of course, withstand stress that you will receive from having to deal with bumps for 10 hours. And that is a real fatiguer. And of course, any other fatigue and stress that you're dealing with your body is going to deter from your body's ability to produce power in your legs. It might be easy to say oh, well, they're two different things, but it doesn't quite work that way. So if you're bothered by something, of course, it's going to take away from your ability to produce power and stay strong throughout the entire race. So yes, the answer is, I think it is very important. I don't know if it's more important, but it is very important to focus on maybe other things that you have not been focusing on. I think the nice thing about that stuff is it doesn't need to be heavy lifting. It doesn't need to be really flashy, power clean, Olympic lifts. It doesn't need to be that. It could be something simple like you're doing push-ups, or you're doing a plank, or you're doing it really core work. It's all stuff that we could do pretty much at any time, anywhere. So, but it is really important. Otherwise, you're going to be suffering for those exact reasons. The longer the event is, and the more rugged, I think, the more important it becomes.
For sure. And to your point, if you're having pain during a race, that's going to take focus off the task at hand, which is racing.